In the first 6 months of this year alone, 471 million people got notices that their data was compromised. And we're being told AI is the solution to our cybersecurity problems? That number, 471 million, already blew past the entire year of 2025, which had 297.5 million victims. We're not even through August yet. So here's the question that keeps nagging at me. If AI is supposed to be revolutionizing cybersecurity, making us safer, building these impenetrable defenses, why are the breach numbers getting worse, not better? How can AI be both the cure and the poison when it comes to protecting our data? Between March 2025 and February 2026, IBM found that 1 in 4 data breaches was AI-enabled. That's up 56% from the year before. Let that sink in for a second. The technology we're supposed to be using as a shield is already being weaponized faster than we can deploy it defensively. And when a breach involves AI, the average cost jumps to $4.88 million, the highest figure on record. These aren't hypothetical attacks or proof of concept demonstrations at security conferences. This is happening in production systems to real companies, affecting real people's data right now. Black Hat USA wrapped up here in August, and out of 121 total briefings scheduled, 35 of them, nearly 29% of the entire conference, were directly about AI security. Not AI as a tool for defenders, but AI as the problem itself, the attack surface, the vulnerability. Security researchers weren't up there talking about how AI is solving cybersecurity anymore. They were demonstrating how it's creating entirely new categories of exploits that didn't exist 2 years ago. The tone has shifted from optimism to something much closer to alarm. And that shift happened fast. One of the demonstrations that got the most attention was an autonomous vulnerability research system. Over 2 months, it analyzed 3,915 open source projects and confirmed 14,090 flaws. Here's the terrifying part. 99.4% of those flaws were previously unreported. No human researcher had found them. The system was working alone, scanning code, identifying weaknesses, and cataloging exploits at a scale that no security team could ever match manually. The implication is pretty clear. If the good guys have this, so do the attackers. And they're probably not disclosing what they find responsibly. On August 2nd, just a couple weeks ago, the EU AI Act officially went into enforcement. Companies now have to label their chatbots as automated systems, mark deepfakes clearly, and add machine-readable watermarks to AI-generated content. If they don't comply, the fines start at 15 million euros, or 3% of worldwide annual turnover, whichever is higher. This isn't a toothless recommendation. It's the first major regulatory framework that treats AI systems as things that need governance, not just innovation. And it went live while breach numbers were already hitting record highs. There's another cost buried in the data that most people aren't tracking yet. Shadow AI. That's when employees use AI tools that aren't approved or monitored by IT departments. Things like pasting company data into ChatGPT or using unauthorized LLM plugins. When a breach involves shadow AI, it adds an extra $670,000 to the total cost on average. It's not just the breach itself, it's the investigation trying to figure out where the data went, which unapproved system leaked it, and who had access. The proliferation of AI tools is moving faster than security teams can catalog them. OpenAI disclosed something fascinating this month. Their researchers used GPT 5.6 Cyber, a specialized model, to find 2 previously unknown vulnerabilities in Google's V8 JavaScript engine. These weren't minor bugs. They chained together into a V8 heap sandbox escape, which is exactly the kind of exploit that can break through browser security. Google patched the first one as CVE 2026-15903. The point isn't that AI found bugs. Human researchers do that all the time. It's that AI is finding exploitation chains, multi-step attacks that require creative thinking about how systems fail. That's new territory. One of the phrases that kept coming up at DEF CON 34 was agentic AI. AI systems that can take actions autonomously, not just answer questions. Security researchers are calling it cybersecurity's biggest attack surface and the industry's most urgent governance gap. These aren't models that wait for human approval before executing code or accessing databases. They're designed to act independently, which makes them incredibly powerful for automation and incredibly dangerous if compromised. And right now, there's no standard framework for securing them. We're deploying them faster than we're understanding the risks. Defenders are using AI too, obviously. Threat detection systems that analyze network traffic in real time. Automated response tools that can isolate compromised machines before a human even sees the alert. But deployment is uneven. Some companies have sophisticated AI-driven security operations centers. Others are still running legacy systems from 2018 with minimal automation. The attackers don't have that problem. They only need to find one vulnerability in one system to succeed. The asymmetry has always favored attackers in cybersecurity, and AI hasn't changed that equation. If anything, it's made the gap wider for organizations that can't afford to keep up. The average cost of a data breach involving AI now stands at $4.88 million, the highest on record. Part of that is forensics, figuring out how the AI was used in the attack, what data it accessed, whether it learned anything it shouldn't have. Part of it is notification. More jurisdictions now require companies to tell affected users within very short time frames, and those costs add up fast. And part of it is remediation that's more complex than traditional breaches. You can't just patch a vulnerability and move on when the attack vector was an LLM that learned to exploit business logic flaws no signature-based system would catch. There were 1,803 reported incidents in the first half of 2026, up from 1,732 in the same period last year. That's not a massive jump in raw numbers, but when you factor in the 471 million victim notices, a 58% increase year over year, what you're seeing is that breaches are getting bigger, not just more frequent. Attackers are hitting more valuable targets or extracting larger data sets per incident. The efficiency of attacks is improving, likely because automated tools, including AI, are helping attackers move faster once they're inside a network. The dwell time is shrinking, but the damage per breach is escalating. So we're living in this contradiction where AI is simultaneously the best new tool for defending networks and the most effective new weapon for breaking into them. The same technology that can scan millions of lines of code for vulnerabilities can also exploit those vulnerabilities autonomously. The same models that detect anomalies in network traffic can be trained to mimic legitimate user behavior during an intrusion. As far as I can tell, we're not resolving that contradiction anytime soon. We're just trying to stay ahead of it, one patch at a time, while the numbers keep climbing. If you found this useful, a like genuinely helps, and subscribe if you want more documented breakdowns like this.